My life be like, yeah. My life be like.
What's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of Road to BCS. We have a lot to tell you guys about, actually. Let me fix this map. Let's see. Where do I start? Well, it's been 2 weeks since we last recorded, and I went to a shop challenge. You'll see it in the montage that was earlier. And I got first place. So I got a buy card for the Bushy Road Championship Series, which is BCS. And yeah, since if I have, if there are 1 to 6 Swiss rounds, I get 1 buy, and there's 7 to 9, I get 2 buys. So I feel like we're gonna have 7 to 9 rounds usually, because we're usually the biggest one. I'm not entirely sure about that, but I think we're usually the biggest one. So that's pretty cool. So I can sleep in, basically. The deck I played for the event was Heroes, and I'll tell you why in a bit. Second of all, we got this cool mat that I got from Sneak Peek after that week. So the week, and I came second. So yeah, so I love this mat. I used to play Deep Police a lot, not that much anymore. I've been testing with the new stuff. I don't really like it that much. But let me know if you guys want to see a Deep Police deck profile. I'll show on the channel, definitely. So yeah, without further ado, let's get this hero deck out of the way. All right. So first up, we have our original starter, the OG Triple OG. Just same thing. Draw a card, like every starter. 4 Spinning Valiants. We were able to pick up a second copy of the SVR, so we're 2 more away. So I want to get these guys high rarity out. Not trying to get the XVR unless it's like for a good price. So we'll see. So we got 4. 4 Girly Dolly. Or yeah, that's her name, right? Yeah, Girly Dolly. She's really good. I didn't think she was gonna be that good, but like she changes it like insane. Like she changes the matchup where like no matter what your opponent does, you just guard for 1 card and then like that's it. It's a no pass. So play for her. 2 Miss Splendor. She gets the plus 3k if you have more rear guards than your opponent. So it hits you for that force matchup. And it basically locks down your opponent where they can't intercept. So those little pokes that you will be doing, they can't intercept, so they have to use cards from hand. The more cards they use from hand, the better it is for later game when you go into Spinning Valiant. Because when Spinning Valiant comes out, if they don't have enough cards to guard, they have to take the hit. So, really good about that. 1 Savannah Wild. I didn't think this card was going to help out, but it apparently helped out a lot during the XL matches, especially. When I faced off against Beast Deity. And then I faced off against Golds. If you put this in the XL circle, you just pop the opposite XL circle, which if you're XL2, it makes it a 27k attacker, or my bad, a 32k attacker. Yeah, because he gets plus 15k from his own skill. So really cool. Next up, we have 4 this guy. He's really good on XL Circle by himself. If he's not boosted by Rocket Harrier Man, he's kind of little, it's just like a little 5k guard or a 10k guard. But later in the game, he becomes bigger, and that's what we want. We want our opponent to waste more hands, so I believe he gets plus 3k for each damage. So if you're at 5, he gets plus 15, so this is a 24k attacker. So really good. Next up, 2 Cup Bowlers, standard issue. Vanguard and Rearguard gets plus 5k. Makes you hit those magic numbers. Next up, 4 copies of the Interceptor. Pair it with Girly Dolly. She's basically a no pass. She's basically a PG I didn't think she was gonna help out as much, but man, did she help out. I was facing against, I think, Pale Moon yesterday, and they couldn't kill this obviously because they have no way of retiring unless they play that dragon grade 3, and which I think nobody plays. And they never killed us off the board because they can't attack rearguard. So I had 3 of these on the board, and they were just doing multi attacks on me because they hit no defense triggers. And this was like intercept, no pass, intercept, no pass, intercept, no pass. So really good. Next up, we have for this guy. This guy's really good. What's his name? Instead of calling him this guy, Smash Masher. So he's really good applying pressure early game. So if you're a grade 2, you can just call him Counterblast 1. He gets plus 5k for each damage you have. So if you're at 3, he becomes a 15k attacker. 15k power boost, so he'll be a 23k attacker. And then if you're at 2, he'll become a 18k attacker because he'll get plus 10k. So really good for hitting your opponent early for pressure. And then when you're riding grade 3, you can put him into the soul and then unflip a damage. It's really good for the early game and in the late game, so really good. For Rocket Harriman, this card's really good. Hits these magic numbers. Usually when I have Shout on the board and I'm done using Shout, I'll replace one with Rocket Harriman, as long as I have like enough cards to guard, especially if I have 2 Girly Dollies on the field. So I'll drop these guys down to boost the Girly Dollies. So makes you hit those numbers that you need to hit against the Force and other XL decks. Next up, we have for Screaming Dance Announcement Shout. This card in this deck is amazing because you constantly the soul, and if you plus, it's amazing because you're getting rid of your opponent something. You don't want to use this card when your opponent, like say for example, when your opponent's at 5, you don't want to use this card because then they'll be up to 6 if they draw, and that takes away from your Spinning Valiant turn because when they attack, when the Spinning Valiant attacks, you use its skill. If they drop those 3 cards, that means they have 2 cards in hand, and then the next attack they have to take it because they cannot guard with those 2 cards because they have to guard with 3. So you don't want to use it on like those odd number turns. So, but yeah, I've decked my opponent out with this so many times in testing. Against Marinos, I decked him out. Against Great Nature, I decked him out because the deck is so defensive and then you can go offensive. But then again, if you don't want to go offensive, you can just stay on Shout. Because if the deck can't pop anything, you can just stay on Shout and then just deck them out. So, really good. I played against Angel Feathers this past week at Locals. And, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you about Locals. I went undefeated with that. I went undefeated with Heroes. So, pretty cool. I went against Angel Feathers, and then they couldn't do anything to this deck, which is insane. I was just shouting them, and then they were just their zeros just kept getting soul charged. I'll link a link to that video. I'll leave a link to that video down below. My buddy Marshall, he has his own channel. If you guys want to check him out, he does some Vanguard content as well. So I believe our batch will be on there later this week. And I'll post this about like Wednesday or something. So it'll probably be there by the time this is up. So yeah, so 4 of these guys. So now we go into the triggers. We have 4 PG draws. We have 4 regular draws. So we're running 8 draws. 4 crit because we don't run the fronts anymore. I feel like with the fronts they were just dead in testing, where it didn't matter because early game, if you're going first in like a grade 3 turn, because you could do with the front, you can do like little pokes and then a big poke. With the front, you have to do the big poke first, and then pray to God you hit the front. So I feel like with this, you'll do the little pokes, and then if they take the Vanguard hit, they can get a crit. I can get a crit, and then the following turn I can do the Spinning Valiant because at that point they'll either be at 4 or 5, and then I'll have a ton of rear guards that they have to guard with 3. So. Really good for that, and then 4 heals. So the main thing I just changed was the trigger lineup, which I just put the 4 crits instead of the 4 fronts. That was basically the only change. Right now, this looks like a really good contender for me for BCS in New Jersey. I basically play test against, what was it? Ezel, Beast-Deity. BCD is kind of 50-50. Ezel, it's if they go off first and just wreck you, you lose the game. really, Protect Decks can't do anything against this, unfortunately. Maybe Grand Blue can do something. I haven't tested that yet. But I tested like against Angels and OTT. They really can't do anything because you just lock down their board and then that's it. And then tested against Kagero. Kagero's a rough matchup, especially if it's Blade Master because they just nuke your board. And then the regular Kagero matchup, when they're playing the end, you have to time when you're about to like go in because as soon as you put the girly dolly down, they're gonna fucking pop that immediately. Like that's just a target right there for waiting to happen. So you have to time when you're gonna do it, and then so like it's really weird because you have to like prepare for your stuff to be popped. So you basically call when you're calling stuff, you know it's gonna be popped, and then make them waste resources, and then while you have to prepare yourself, okay, this is gonna get popped. I need another unit for the following turn. Okay, if I have a backup unit, I can do this play. So you really need to draw well against the Kagero matchup as well. Murakami is gonna get some more support. I haven't tested that yet, so we'll test that when I believe that comes out in like 2 weeks. And I tested against D Police. This is not an issue. What else did I test against? Test against Royals, not an issue, but I haven't tested with the new Royal stuff. And yeah, pretty much. This deck's worst matchup is obviously Kagero, Murakami, and surprisingly Pale Moon, because if you shout and you get their like stuff with Pale Moon, so like if you're not soul charging anything but a trigger for Pale Moon, they're just gonna wreck you because their grade ones can do stuff like Purple Trapezes. There's a car motorcycle just went past my house like crazy. And then they can just go off from there. Like if you don't soul charge a trigger, if they don't soul charge a trigger, they're gonna win because you're giving them a toolbox in their soul that they can use later on to kick you in the butt. So surprisingly, Pale Moon is actually really hard for this. But let's see, anything else to be said? No, not really. Oh, I didn't even show the front triggers. Obviously, I mean not the front triggers. Make it look nice. The XL markers. Yay. So yeah, that's where we are with the deck. Hopefully we can get another undefeated streak with the deck. I mean, I'm 2 tournaments, I'm undefeated. I'm gonna go to locals on Wednesday, so I'll probably record some footage for that. And yeah, I guess that's it. See you in the next episode, guys. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I forgot to tell you that in the last video, but like and subscribe. It helps me out. Click that notification bell if you guys want to stay up to date with any of my videos coming soon. Especially we're almost there. I think we're about a month away into the BCS happens. So you guys want to stay tuned to see what happens, and hopefully we can do well. I mean, we got the buy card, so hopefully we can do relatively well, and hopefully we can get a trip to Japan. So let's do it. All right, see you guys. Until next time.